I have my paddle controller with me because Atari 2600 Paddle Games Month is going to continue with Jim's copy of Breakout for the Atari 2600, which is also released under the Sears Telegames label as Breakaway 4. As you can see, this was Adam's copy, probably called Breakaway 4 because 4 players could play it. But let's go ahead and take Jim's copy of Breakout. Let's pop it in my 7800 Pro system and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Hi, Jim. Breakout was published by Atari and carries a copyright year of 1978. It is based on Atari's 1976 arcade game. Two of the men who worked on the arcade game, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, share a special connection. They're both named Steve. Oh, and they also helped form this little company called Apple, so in a sense you can blame Breakout for overpriced smartphones and computers. This version of Breakout was programmed by Brad Stewart, who also programmed the Atari 2600 port of Asteroids, which I already reviewed way back in episode 107. I'll put a link to that review in the description below. The manual opens with the following: smash, pow, crunch. A brick wall appears at the top of the screen, and your mission is to smash 2 walls off the playfield, 1 brick at a time. Breakout is a paddle game for 1 to 4 players. In 2-player games, players take turns playing. In 3 and 4-player games, the players using the second set of paddles will share the screen and team up with someone using the first set of paddles, with each player able to move on their own half of the screen. For the controls, you move your paddle with the knob and press the button to start a round. When the difficulty switch is in the A position, it will make the paddle smaller for that controller port than when it's in the B position. You get 5 balls no matter what game variation you play, and if you clear 2 walls in the game ends, in a sense, beating the game. There are 3 main game variations: standard breakout, timed breakout, where your goal is to clear the screen of 2 walls as quickly as possible, and breakthrough, where the ball goes right through any bricks it comes into contact with. For each of the 3 main variations, you can also choose to play a standard game, a game where you can steer the ball right after you hit it, a game where the wall is invisible and only briefly appears when you hit it, and a game where you can hold down the button to catch the ball and release the button to release the ball. In these catch games, no matter where the ball is when it hits your paddle when you catch it, it will appear on the left side of the paddle. However, the angle it leaves will depend on where it touched the paddle when you first caught it. According to the manual, the paddle is divided into 5 sections. The section that the ball hits determines the angle that it goes after being hit. After the 3rd, 7th, and 11th hits, the angles get smaller, but they revert back to the original angles after the 12th hit. When the ball is hit 12 times in a row, or when it hits a brick in the top 3 rows, it will speed up. When the ball hits the top of the ceiling, your paddle shrinks, further increasing the difficulty. Scoring-wise, for non-timer-based games, you get anywhere from 1 to 7 points per brick, with the value increasing from bottom to top. Since you can only clear 2 walls before the game ends, the maximum score is 864 points. Graphically speaking, this is a very basic looking game. The sounds are also pretty limited. Family friendly wise, the game would most likely get an E for everyone rating if released today. Currently at PriceCharting.com, the game has a value of $7 loose, $13 complete, and $20 new. So what did I think of Breakout on the Atari 2600? It's fun, but pretty basic and pretty hard too. Since the game can ramp up the speed on you and shrink your paddle when you hit the top of the screen, I found it a major challenge to clear even a single wall. I really wish there was a variation where the speed stayed constant, perhaps until you cleared your first wall. I like that they had the options to steer and catch the ball, but I found both somewhat hard to manage as well. I will say the basic controls work well, and it does offer some enjoyment, even if I'm not that good at it. I could also see this being a fun 4-player game, however I rank games based on the single-player experience. So where am I going to rank Breakout? I'm going to put this right next to the last paddle game I ranked, Night Driver, which is at the 112th position. Both are pretty difficult, but Breakout does control better, so I'm going to give it the edge. So out of the 231 games I've now ranked for the Atari 2600, Breakout is hitting the bricks at the 112th position. Breakout is really difficult, but it still offers some classic fun on the Atari 2600. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me both on the Facebook and the Twitter, and click the bell so you don't miss any future videos. At this time, I'd like to thank Jazzy Spinal Fusion for nominating today's game and supporting the show on Patreon. If you would like to sign up to support the show and gain access to exclusive perks, please go to patreon.com/NoSwearGamer. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, especially once you hit your ceiling.